Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please be upstanding for the vice-regal salute. Thank you, Kate. Good morning, everyone. You may be seated. Good mille falcha. 100,000 welcomes to our celebration of the 150th anniversary of the Scotch Colony, based here in beautiful Kincardine. I'm Kate Gallagher-Scheidler, originally from Glasgow, Scotland, and I'll be your MC for today. We're, of course, celebrating the people and traditions that came with those first settlements to this area 150 years ago, amidst harsh conditions. We're also celebrating the many generations of people since then who further built and maintained this warm and friendly community of hospitality with its preservation of valued traditions in our treasured province of New Brunswick, Canada. I know there are descendants, dignitaries, and visitors here today from throughout Canada and the United States, and perhaps from even farther away. Thank you all for coming to celebrate with us. As we begin, we first acknowledge that we stand upon the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Wolastoqey and thank them for allowing us to gather here. We today acknowledge, respect, and appreciate the important historic role that First Nations communities have played in the establishment of all immigrant communities in Canada, including this Scotch colony. There have been many, many people who have generously given countless hours of time to prepare for this weekend, starting with our wonderful organizing committee and so many other volunteers as well, without whom this event would not be possible. To those helping with games, workshop leaders, vendors, cooks, performers, to Colin and Haley Murray, whose grounds we stand upon, to those who donated materials and so many others, our deepest thanks. We also wish to deeply thank our financial and in-kind sponsors who contributed so generously. David and Marianne Bell, in memory of Cecil and Hazel Watson by their family, Gathering of the Scots, the Castle Inn, George Cumming II, the Young Taylor family in memory of David Taylor, Al and Pam McPhail, Colin and Haley Murray. The Village of Southern Victoria, CarQuest Auto Parts, Doug Pearson Auto, Tobic River Trading Company, Rod McIntosh, Catherine LaForest, and Corsa Cayley Band members Kate LaFrance and Anna Scheidler. Lewis Pharmacy, Kristen Headley, McAsphalt Industries Limited, Ross and Pat Clark. Quad B Adventures, Bruce Alexander, Walter Allison, Helen and Conrad Dixon. So to start things off, we're going to ask, whoa! To start things off, we're going to start with Anna Scheidler, who's going to sing "O Canada." O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise,
the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And if you would now please join me in singing the unofficial national anthem of Scotland, O Flower of Scotland, just the first and third verses. O flower of Scotland, when will we see your likes again? That fought and died for your weeped hill and glen, and stood against him. Proud Edward's army, and sent him homeward to think again. Those days are past now, and in the past they must remain. But we can still rise now, and be the nation again that stood against him. Proud Edward's army, and sent him homeward to think again. We move on now to dignitaries' remarks. I'd now like to welcome our dignitaries who are each here to say a few words. First, our Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick, representative of King Charles III, the Honourable Brenda Murphy.
Thank you very much, Kate. Tina Purley-Martin, MP Richard Bragdon, His Worship Andrew Harvey, Sheldon Shaw. I don't know if Sheldon's here, maybe not. Les invités d'honneur, distinguished guests, chers amis, Linda et moi sommes heureux d'être parmi vous pour fêter le 50e anniversaire de Scotch Colony. Linda and I are just thrilled to be here with you today. We met a person earlier, Richard, whose name last name I've forgotten, but he was giving us a bit of a history lesson, and he said, as we stand here, we're knee-deep in history, first starting with the indigenous community and their ancestors, and then, of course, the settlers who came here. And gatherings like this one strengthen our sense of community, and it's so important to celebrate a milestone like this. The links that unite residents of Lower Kintore, Upper Kintore, Bonnecourt, and Kincardine have been forged through decades of shared history and cooperation. And I'm sure that there are many of you who can trace your roots back generations to the settlement's earliest days. And some of you may have recently moved to the area. Whatever your connection, you can all reflect on your past and be thankful for the cultural communities that have strengthened our province social fabric. So today, as we enjoy the festivities taking place throughout the weekend, we can be thankful for all the people who surround us, our family, our friends, our neighbors, who lift us up in times of need. As someone who grew up in a very small community outside of St. John in Westfield, I really am grateful to the foundation that was created by living in that community, having people who knew me so well, who supported me, who stood with our family, who helped out, and who held us accountable. You know, we couldn't drop a piece of garbage without a neighbor saying, "Pick that up." And you know, I really valued that foundation. And I also just want to echo Kate and say, you know, I understand too that events of this magnitude cannot take place without the tireless efforts of volunteers. And I'm sure there are many of you who've contributed to the organization of this celebration this weekend. So thank you very much for highlighting your community's rich history and tradition. Je vous souhaite une belle fin de semaine remplie de bonheur et de souvenirs mémorables. Bon 150e anniversaire. And enjoy the festivities. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much.
Next, we call upon elected leader of Wolastoqey Nation at Nagutkuk, Tina Purley Martin.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Waliwan for that land acknowledgement. Waliwan. Kwalsi Kolpa, I welcome you. On behalf of leadership and community, Wolastoqey Nation at Nagutkuk, I congratulate you on your 150 years. Wow. I have no doubts that our ancestors over these 150 years, through hunting, fishing, gathering, surviving, we have that connection. And I'm very proud to be standing up here to represent my community. I see some familiar faces out there. I've grown up with a few, and I've been taught by a few. Tarlene. So I want to honor the Wolastoq, the river, the Wolastoq. All the tributaries that come down through and up into mighty Wolastoq. Without water, there's no life. So I want to sing the Wolastoq song to honor that. The song goes to the heartbeat. So if you notice the beat going like this, that's my nervousness kicking in. Wolastoq b'malagwe, ajida b'migo. Wolastoq b'malagwe, supegelmia. Nigwas b'mipin, wazizach nelaskamiu. Nigwas b'mipin, wazizach nelaskamiu. Wolastoq b'malagwe, ajida b'migo. Wolastoq b'malagwe, supegelmia. Nigwas b'mipin, wazizach nelaskamiu. Nigwas b'mipin, wazizach nelaskamiu. Wolastoq b'malagwe, ajida b'migo. Wolastoq b'malagwe, supegelmia. Nigwas b'mipin, wazizach nelaskamiu. Nigwas b'mipin, wazizach nelaskamiu. Wolastoq is flowing, flowing Wolastoq is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, a child I will always be. Mother, carry me, a child I will always be. Oh.
Thank you, Tina. We now welcome our own local historian, Garth Farquhar.
150 years ago, over 800 immigrants from the northeast part of Scotland arrived here in this New Brunswick wilderness. It has been said that this was the largest planned immigration ever to come to Canada other than the New Brunswick Empire Loyalists. These immigrants were of one ethnicity, one language, one religion, and were almost like one big family. Like all families, they definitely had disputes and disagreements amongst themselves, but to the outside world, they presented a solid, unified front. The pioneers faced incredible hardships and seemingly insurmountable obstacles. They got through it all by helping each other. If there was sickness, crop failure, an accident, or other calamity, the neighbors all pitched in to help. When I grew up in the colony, it was pretty much still the same situation. Most families were descendants of the original settlers and had the same type of cohesiveness and community spirit. Today, the colony is made up of people from practically every corner of the world. Our religions range from strong fundamentalists to complete atheists, and there's a mosaic of ethnicities, but the same spirit of helping your neighbor endures. We are an inclusive community who do not discriminate on whom you are or whom you love, and we continue to pitch in when calamities arise. The community spirit and level of volunteerism that has gone into making this celebration possible has been just incredible. Families of the original settlers, and even families completely new to the colony, have worked together for countless hours of preparation to make this event possible. In 50 years, at the 200th anniversary, I hope that the same cohesive spirit follows our descendants and newcomers to this home we call the Scotch Colony.
Thank you, Garth. Next, we call upon Tobique MacDequack Member of Parliament, Richard Bragdon.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute honor to be here today in commemoration of such a special occasion. 150 years, and so much can be drawn from our history, and so much can be learned from those who've gone before us. And New Brunswick and Canada have a very rich history, yes, with many lessons learned, and also with so much to be thankful for. I want to just simply start by saying a special thank you and a huge congratulations to the dedicated and faithful volunteers who help make this event possible. It's people like you who make all the difference and make these things possible. Yes, let's give them a good round of applause. They've done so much to make this happen. Thank you so much. The best of Canada is on full display by your efforts when we see people who take time out of their busy schedules to make sure community events still take place, where people from not just the local areas like Kincardine, Bonaccord, and Upper and Lower Kintore can gather, but people from across the province, the country, and even other countries can come and celebrate with you. It couldn't happen unless there were people that put in those extra hours behind the scenes to make it happen. And the lessons of our small communities and rural communities should not be lost on any of us. As our local historian just spoke about, when tough times come, when difficulties arise, we draw strength from one another from our families, from our faith, from our friends, from our neighbors. And the best of that's on display right in this region. And I'm proud to represent this area and this beautiful part of New Brunswick, and it truly is a beautiful part. I was thinking just as I was coming, and I'll wrap up with this because the last thing you need is to hear from a politician for a long period of time. But within our beautiful coat of arms, our historic coat of arms that's been around for a long time, there is a ribbon in the middle of it. It's red, and it has in it, it was placed there in honor and recognition by the Order of Canada. There's an inscription, and it's written there where it says, "They desired a better country." And I thought that is true of so many that are gathered here today, and those who make events in small communities and rural communities possible, and those who cut communities out of the rough and settled in areas like this across our land. They desired a better country. Are we perfect? No. Can we become better? Absolutely. But it's people like you and those dedicated volunteers that make this happen that are making Canada and New Brunswick a better place to live. So on behalf of the federal government of Canada, on behalf of all of us here today, thank you for your efforts. Congratulations on 150 and to 150 more years.
Thank you so much. Now, on behalf of Carleton Victoria, MLA Margaret Johnson, we welcome Jane Staples.
There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Honourable Margaret Johnson, your MLA for Carleton Victoria, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to bring her greetings. Scotch Colony is celebrating 150 years with a full schedule of events this weekend. It is a special opportunity to mark the rich history of the community and honor our neighbors and friends. I hope you have the opportunity to take part in many of the celebrations as they continue throughout today and tomorrow. Scotch Colony is a great example of the heritage we have in New Brunswick. Our province has so many amazing stories to tell of the men and women who created a home that we can be proud of and never forget where we came from. Honoring our history is something that is also important to pass on to the next generation. Only by knowing our history will we know who we are as a person. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you again for the opportunity to join you today and continue to enjoy this wonderful weekend and all this sunshine that has finally come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And yes, I wasn't expecting the sun, but hey, it's good Scottish luck, isn't it? Next, we welcome Carleton North Mayor Andrew Harvey.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here, an honor to be here in Lower Kintore. I want to recognize our Lieutenant Governor. She's doing a great job for the province, and her partner, Linda. They've been to many events over the years that I've attended, and I think about Victoria County. It's always a pleasure to come to Victoria County. Obviously, it's just south of here just a little bit. It's the Carleton County line, but it's not too far down the road. But it's always a pleasure to come here because we have great events, such as this one I'll talk about in a minute. But we have the World Pond Hockey. We have the Gathering of the Scots in Perth, Andover. We have the powwow with the Tobic First Nation, which was a great event. And I encourage everyone to go to these regional events, including this event. And we need to do more things regionally. We need to be thinking outside the box, not in our own small communities, but encouraging and promoting and supporting events like this and in the spirit that's here today. I grew up in Glassville, the rolling hills and the highlands of Glassville, the parish of Aberdeen, very similar to this area, obviously. And it was a great chance to experience life working the land. And I think about all the people that worked the land when they came here 150 years ago. There was a heartbeat that was going through people that stays here today. And we want that continuity, and it's something that we should treasure and we should honor not only today but every day. So I want to thank Darlene for the invitation, and all Sarah and Kate and all the organization committee. You do a great job. They do above and beyond with lots of help from the community and with Garth and all the great remarks. I'm very blessed to be here. We're all very blessed to live here in this area. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day and all the festivities tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Finally, we call upon Southern Victoria Mayor Cindy McLaughlin.
I get asked to speak at many events, and I want to let you all know that coming to the Scotch Colony is a very special day for me. On behalf of the village of Perth Andover, on the behalf of the village of Southern Victoria, I welcome everyone to this amazing part of our country. I am delighted and honored to share this time with all of you. 150 years is an amazing milestone. You are all so very blessed to have such a rich history. I want to thank each and every one for all the hard work which makes this event possible. Thank you again, and enjoy your day.
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, thank you so much to all of our dignitaries. It's an event like this that brings so many people together, but it's our dignitaries who come to recognize and appreciate what we all try to do in our varying communities. So please, please, let's give a big hand to all of these dignitaries today. Thank you.